Recording is on.
Meet Jetsi. This is a good one.
Sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
everyone. So in this class, as we mentioned before, I'm going to explain this URLify. This is another popular question in many interviews, right? This is the one we will discuss today. And the next second one is string path in matrix. Let's see if we have time. We will go through the second one. Otherwise, we'll see. So yeah, URLify. So did you understand the question? I think right. DP, you
Yeah.
understand fully, right?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
let's discuss about the strategies or the algorithm that you use to solve this problem. So how do you?
Right.
So it
Um.
says like given a
Yeah.
string, right? It's a string in the character array because it's a
Mm-hmm.
primitive kind of C kind of algorithm. So we
Mm-hmm.
should not use um, string functions or anything, but we can use character array functions like
Mm-hmm.
or other things. So yeah,
Right.
go ahead and what is the strategy to solve this?
Yeah. So yeah, I think so. I'll share my
Yeah,
screen with
yeah.
the
Let me.
final approach I used. But I think just to start with, right,
Yeah.
conceptual understanding. So as the question says that we are given a character array
Mhm.
and we are given the actual length of the string, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I can start sharing my screen
Yeah,
and
yeah. Please.
just explain, use an example here.
Yep.
So where is it? Uh,
So basically, it's a URL encoding where you can
right.
place spaces
So
with.
how do I say
So
share?
there is a third icon here after mic and video. You can see
Oh, okay.
there is an
Oh, yeah,
icon.
yes, yes, right, got it.
Yeah, Jitsi is a really good tool and it's open source and free. So
Mhm.
I like to use
Let me
this.
know when you can see my
Yeah, I can
screen.
see your screen. If you can little bit zoom in, that will be great. It's
Yeah.
the font is really small. If you can.
Right. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Oh, so edit. Let me see if I can bring it up. I was trying to zoom, but that doesn't work here.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, but I think let me do this 1 second. Let me bring it up on my other screen and see if that helps.
Okay.
Preferences.
Which editor is that? Are you using
This is Eclipse.
Eclipse? Okay.
Yeah, it is showing me way to. Okay, I'll share my screen back. Let me know when you can
Yep, I
see it.
can see now. It's good.
Okay, so here, let me
Excuse me.
explain this. Is this better?
Yep, yep. Good.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so this is the question, right? We are given a character array,
Mhm.
and uh, we which may or may not have some spaces.
Yes.
And the idea is that we want to replace all the spaces with this person 20,
Mhm.
right? The way the URLs do.
Yeah.
And the question also says that you are also given the actual length of the string. So in this example, the actual length of the string is 6 characters,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And in general, if this question that's if you happen to just have this description, then you will start with different approaches. But I think the question problem statement also talks about trying to optimize it without using additional space, so
Yeah.
that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
But just as a very quick brute force idea would be, if you were to do this without space constraints, then
Mhm.
it's trivial, right? You just create another string,
Yep.
start
Yep.
swapping characters. Anytime you hit a space, you insert these two, three characters, and you continue, right? That is the order of n complexity, both time and space.
Yes.
N is the number of characters in the string, right?
That's right.
Now, as the question says, and also in general, if you think about it, right, what if you have space constraints and you don't want to use this extra space?
Yeah.
So in that case, the question also gives another specification here,
Yeah.
that you can consider that you have sufficient space at the end of your given character array
Yeah.
to kind of accommodate these additional characters, right?
Yeah.
So with that hint in mind, now that tells you that if you were to avoid extra space, then you can basically, modify your existing string and just don't use
Exactly.
a new string. Yeah, and feel free to interrupt me if I'm
Yeah,
going.
that's a good idea. So you created a method, right? So
Right.
yeah.
So here, this is my given string, and I'm using these nulls to specify the additional space I have at the end of array. So my actual string is this, right?
Yes.
And I created this method, replace spaces, and 6 is the length of given string.
Yes.
And then essentially the logic here goes like, I need to count number of spaces in my given string.
Yeah.
So for each space, I'm adding two additional characters,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So with each space, I'm using, let's say, this instead of space and then two additional characters.
Exactly.
So what I do is I just count the number of spaces,
Mm-hmm.
and then I calculate what would be the length of my revised string, right? This
Yeah.
would be, if you think about this example here, so I had the length 6 here, right? And I had one space, so that makes it, um, two extra characters basically
Yes.
for, so that makes my final string to be of the length 6 plus 2, 8,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's my new. And why, the other reason why this is important
Yeah.
is that the question says that you have sufficient space at the end of the string. So you may have, many more spaces, right?
Exactly.
More than what you need.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see in the logic ahead how this helps. But that's that. And then what I do is I start with, I just mark the end of the string this
Mm-hmm.
way.
Yeah.
And then now this was interesting, right? This is kind of me, for me, it is like a pattern to keep in mind
Yeah.
when it comes to string problems. So if I were to look at this, there are two ways I can do this.
Yeah.
One is if I start from the beginning, right? This is just a regular character, fine, just keep moving. And then the moment you hit a space, let's say there was something else after
Yeah.
space, right? Hello friends or something.
Yeah.
Now for every space, if you are following, if you're iterating from beginning, then for every space you need to, kind of
Shuffle.
shift the characters,
Yeah.
copy the characters to the
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
And then the thing is you would need to avoid overwriting them, right? You would need to first copy them, push them out, and then insert these three characters and then continue.
Yeah. And
That's
what would be the complexity if you do that, if you do that way? That's
so I think the complexity there I'm thinking is coming from that copy, extra copy,
yeah.
right?
What is the order of
So it would be order of, I think, n would be regular number of characters in the string, but for each space you are doing this additional copies,
yeah,
right? I think it will become actually order of maybe n square,
exactly.
because you
Perfect.
will start, another nested for loop to shift all the characters beyond it. Does
Perfect.
that make
Perfect.
sense?
That's the answer I'm looking. As an interviewer, let's say I
Yeah.
would I would I would ask that
Yeah.
definitely that's perfect answer. If someone says something else, I would have asked, but you perfectly answered that. N square, because that's
Right.
why it is n square. It is worst case.
Right.
Let's say instead of h you have that space.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you have to move everything rest of the thing.
Correct.
So order of n square, definitely it's a worst case. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yes.
if we have the entire string 6 characters with empty spaces, every
Yeah.
space you have to do rest of the characters. That's the worst
Correct.
case. So
Correct.
that perfect, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is, the cost we are paying there.
Hmm.
Now, let's think about alternate approach, right?
Yeah.
The other approach, and kind of like I said earlier, it's also a pattern to keep in mind for string problems, that you can start iterating from beginning or you can start iterating from end, right? In this case, iterating from the end helps. And the reason for that is, like, let's take this example again. So Now we have calculated the new length of this, revised string, how much would be, in this case, it would be 8, right?
Yeah.
So I know that, my final, after I push, let's say, what I'll do is I'll start from the last, character of my given string, which is a space.
Yeah.
If I encounter a space, now I know I have to insert %20, right?
Yeah.
So I start inserting that from the
From the end.
last character of the new, with the new length in mind, right?
Exactly.
So this is what the logic is. So I'm starting from the end, right? And I'm saying going till the first character of the given string. If I hit a space, then essentially I'm inserting these three characters
Yeah. From the
in
back
the reverse order.
percentage, like to zero, two, and then percentage. Yeah. It's
Right,
backward.
right.
Yeah.
Because I have to go something like this, right?
Exactly.
So, and since I have to do, just to be a little more clear, so if I
Mhm.
have this kind of string and extra spaces, one, two, three,
Yeah.
right, or one, two, then I have to first insert, at the last position, I have to insert a zero. That's why I'm going in kind of reverse order,
Yeah.
and then two, and then percent, right?
Nice.
And since we inserted three characters here, now the next character that I need to place, right, will be, my index will be decremented by three, right?
Yes.
Because I have written three characters. What is the other alternative, right? Here we handle the case where you hit a space and
Yeah.
you do this algorithm. But otherwise, if it's not a space, if it's, in this case, we are assuming that the string only has characters or space, right? No other characters.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then you just copy that character, right, to your current position. And in that case, you would just decrement the index by one. Yeah, so I think that is pretty
Very
much
nice. Very nice. Yeah. This really explains how you thought and very good approach. And what is the space complexity?
right. So
It's
space complexity here is more like you are not taking additional space per se,
yeah.
because you're just using the given string with the additional spaces at the end. So
So
you're not using its order of one
order of
basically.
one, yeah, constant space. We are giving
Constant
couple
space.
of variables like space
Right.
count and line number 20 and
Correct.
I variable 21, and that's it. Just you're using two variables essentially. So
Right.
that's a constant space irrespective of the input. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So and time complexity is
Yes, order of basically, actually it will be order of, what should I say, order of n
mhm,
number of characters in the given string, because you're going through each and just placing them.
yeah. So since order of n, because it is you're touching each character only one
Yeah,
time.
this one. Yeah, yeah.
Usually just one time you are navigating. That's good, very good. So that's a good algorithm. I want to give one more
Yeah.
related to this before going to the second one in the question.
Okay.
Very good, and thank you for explaining. So it really helps actually. Uh,
Yeah.
this is what we are looking like. People practiced and they can easily share
Mhm.
experiences, and very good. So
Yeah.
just I'm putting another question in the comment. Just
Yeah.
similar array manipulation. This the what we discussed is it just an array manipulation, right?
Right. Right.
I put it in the comment and in the chat box of
Oh,
the
I see.
meeting.
I see.
I can also put in the Discord as well.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
just go through that and let me know if you have any questions. Let's
So
discuss.
given an array of integers, shuffle the numbers in such a way. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, so we are given, let me copy this. So we are given this one here. Uh,
So basically, given a number, shuffle the numbers in such a way that all even numbers should be in the first half and all
right,
odd numbers should be in the second half of the array.
right. Okay. I'll
So,
just, write it here in a notepad or something.
sure. Yeah, you can wrap it so that it will be in two
Yeah.
lines. Yeah.
So this is my input,
Yes.
and I can return. So my even elements are like 6 to 8, and they come first, and then rest
Yeah,
here.
look at that. 11 is still there because you don't need to move 11 because it's already in the second half, right? And
Right,
and
right.
look at the
Okay.
difference between the first output and second output. In the second output, it is like 8 to
Uh-huh.
9, 8. 8 to 6. Basically,
It's
it's
kind of like in the reverse order.
whatever the order. I don't care the order, right? So 6 to
Okay.
8 or 8 to 6. That's fine. So I don't care about the
Okay.
order, but all the first half are in the all the even numbers are in the first half and odd numbers in the second half, right? Yeah.
Right. Okay. So first half, second half. Let's see. I'm just going to start with brute force.
Sure, sure.
No.
Yeah.
So let's say I here in the given input array, I know the length is 7,
Hmm.
right? So I know like kind of first half will be first 3 or 4 elements, and so I mean I shouldn't think. Well, that's one way to think about it, right? I have number of elements and I know,
First of
but
all,
I don't know.
yeah, how do
But
you
I don't
find
know how
the
many.
first half and second half?
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
yeah,
one way is a very brute force way is
yeah.
just go through your input array, right? If
Mhm.
it's an odd number, right? Let's take this example.
Yeah.
So I can create sort of a linked list idea, right? So I have three here, right? First linked list is empty. So
So,
insert three.
let's take let's step back and let me give you one
Okay.
more input. So for
Okay.
the time being, for the initial discussion,
Uh-huh.
you can take. I'm giving an array, right? So you can
Yeah.
take another array. That's fine. So use another array if you want to
Okay.
solve this. How do you solve if you are okay to take another array?
I see. So another array. So base.
Basically, input are there, and you don't need to modify the input. You just need to return the first output or second output in a separate array. Very simple, actually. How do you do that? That's a
Yeah.
first. Yeah,
So when maybe I was choosing linked list because I was trying to tweak the first half and second half, but let's stick to the array thing.
yeah.
So
Let's take the array.
I'm
Yeah,
saying that if it's an odd element,
yeah.
I just copy it to my new array.
Hmm.
Now if it's a five, right? It's three was the first element, so my new array was empty.
Hmm.
Five comes in. I know that
No,
um,
yeah.
how first half, second half is the question. Uh, how about so this is basically my new array index zero,
Mm-hmm.
sort of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, actually, can I start inserting from the end because odd elements have to be at
Simply
the
do whatever
second.
you want. Just yeah, that's very good approach. Very good approach. That
So,
you already spot the algorithm because yeah,
yeah.
you can do whatever you want. That's
So
right.
something like this, right? Let's say n is the number of elements in the
Exactly.
array. So
Exactly.
n minus one this,
Mm-hmm.
and now if it's an odd,
Mm-hmm.
then I keep like
Yeah.
moving one back.
Very nice.
How can
Very
I do this?
yes.
If it's an even, right, then I know it has to be in the first half.
Yep.
Right? Then I start by, let's say I maintain a start index,
Mm-hmm.
starting from 0, and I start with that,
Yep.
right, for an even number. And then I increment my start index so that it's ready for the next even element.
Perfect.
Yeah, something like this.
So this approach called two-pointer approach. Do you know that? That's
Yeah.
yeah, two-pointer approach is the strategy that you are following. Very good.
Mhm. Um, right. So,
Yeah, I
so
I got it. So what you basically you just loop the entire array and shuffle based on the order even. You put either at the end or at the beginning, right?
right, right.
And
Yes.
what is the time complexity of this?
Time complexity of this. So I'm iterating through each element of my input array, right? So
Mhm.
if there are n elements here, so it's basically order of n
Very good.
time complexity. Space complexity is I'm using this extra array, right, with the same space as my given input array.
Yeah.
So again, it will be order of n.
Yeah, now let's come to the next optimization. Uh,
Right,
Time complexity you can't reduce. You can like you have to visit each and every element at least once. So
right,
there's no way you can reduce the time complexity. Order of n is constant. You can't change that. Let's
correct,
think about solving it without using extra space. Um,
right,
that means you're not now in this situation. You are not allowed to use additional array.
correct, correct.
Now, how do you? So you are okay to shuffle the elements in the given
Sure.
input array. So how do you
How do I do that?
how do you?
So I think, I mean, given this hint, right, we have to kind of move elements within the array.
Yeah.
It's more like, uh, So this is an odd element, right? Starts from 0,
Yeah.
index 0. Um, so how about, okay, let's see. So I have a pointer, let's say, which is tracking my odd elements,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so this is odd. Um, and then I keep moving. So in the, I don't know, I have to think through. So I'm thinking like if I have something like a odd tracker and even tracker,
Yeah. Go ahead.
they both start from beginning,
Okay.
right? And then at some point, so I have this odd tracker and even both had 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now since this is odd, my even keeps moving forward until it finds an even number, right?
Okay.
So it lands at 6. At
Yeah.
this point, even tracker is has found an even integer. So now I want to kind of shuffle, swap this 6 and 3, let's say,
Okay. So yeah,
right?
let's put that swapping. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Three,
let's
6,
say 6,
5,
comma 5, 9, 3, 2,
8,
8,
11.
11.
And let's put the values of the odd tracker and even tracker as well. Odd.
Yeah, odd tracker is at 0 right now.
Okay.
Uh, Even tracker is 0, 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
And now I have shuffled this, so this is where it is. But now I need to even adjust these, right? Even tracker, odd tracker. Uh, so
Odd tracker plus
like,
plus.
I mean, my odd tracker is at 0 initially, right? But after I swap the elements,
Yeah.
now this is no more odd, right?
Yes. Yes.
So one way is I move my odd tracker also to this, but is that the right way? Uh, I was thinking like, should I update my
Yeah.
odd?
Plus plus. You can let what happens if you do plus plus. Like odd tracker will be 1 because 5 is also odd, right?
Yes. So, oh, you were saying just keep it like that and just increment the odd tracker.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just thinking along with you. So odd tracker is 1 right now. And do you want to increment even tracker as well? Okay. Now let's compare 1 and 4.
5 and 2,
Yeah.
right? Oh, yeah, yeah, 5 and 2, right? So we swap these two again,
Okay.
right? So we get 6 and 2, 9, 3, 5, 8, 11.
Okay.
And I increment this again. So odd tracker is 2,
Mm-hmm. Even
even
tracker
tracker
is 5.
is 4, 5,
Okay.
right?
Let's see if this works. Okay.
9 and 8 I'm comparing, right?
Okay.
And I swap these two as well, which makes it, yeah, I can copy this one thing.
Yeah. That will be 8 and it will be 9. Yes. Okay.
3, 6, right?
0, 1.
Now I'm here,
Yeah.
um, and 3 and 11.
Hmm.
These are both odd. So that's fine. Like I'm not doing anything. And this is actually my final answer as well.
Very
And
nice.
now if I increment this, right, one of them goes out of bound,
Hmm.
right? So I know that I have traversed.
Hmm.
Based on this example, it looks like it, but I am still thinking if this will cover.
Yeah, even I'm also thinking you got the correct answer, but let me think.
Yeah,
It's good. One way is good, but I'm thinking it will break in one of the scenarios.
yeah.
I'm trying to give a breaking scenario.
Mhm.
So let's assume the input is
Suresh, I was thinking instead of thinking of something that will break this, which
mm-hmm,
may be a little hard,
mm-hmm,
should we think along the semantics, right?
yeah,
When I started this problem, I'm using these two variables
yeah,
mainly as indexes for my odd and even,
yes,
right? So when I started this, this made sense that
mm-hmm,
yeah, so I'm starting both at the first element and then I'm marching forward the whichever is not satisfying the condition. In this case, this is not even.
so
So
you're
I
not marching for odd, you're marching for even numbers.
even because this is not even, right? So I'm
Yes.
saying that even tracker is not at the correct place. So
Mm,
I keep marching it forward until I hit an even,
mm,
right? So
mm,
that was the idea in my mind conceptually.
yeah,
But after I swap the elements, these semantics no more hold true.
yes.
So I'm thinking if that's where I was thinking, should I also swap?
Those semantics will hold because you incremented to one, which is one is five,
Yeah,
which
true,
is,
true.
odd. And
Yeah.
let's assume that
Hmm.
okay, so okay, let's assume that if it is not five, let's assume that the once you increment the odd tracker to one, if you have an even number there,
Okay.
and even then that would have been already swapped. Okay, so that's good. It is tough to find a good.
Yeah,
It's
that is
just
more like a luck case, right? If we spot something.
actually the algorithm I wrote is a little bit different, but your algorithm may also work. You need to try it out. Very good. Hey, is that Venkat? Hey, Venkat.
Hi,
Welcome.
sir. Sorry,
Yeah, how are
actually,
you? Yeah,
yeah,
how are you, man?
yeah, good, good. Sorry, actually,
No problem.
I got another. Yeah,
No problem. Just no
Hi.
need to
Yeah.
sorry. It is just just a free sessions. We are doing it here, so no problem. And we just recorded as well. This we are discussing about. Have did you get a chance to the problems that I shared? Okay. Yeah, in the group I shared.
yeah, I see that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
see
one
that, but
is
I don't.
yeah, URL encoded is a problem. We already just completed discussion about that, and
Okay,
DP is from PST time. She is also from Redmond. She just we both gone through that problem. Now we are
okay.
discussing another problem. Yeah, go ahead and share the screen, DP. No problem. I think
Right.
you did you
Um,
stop sharing? I did not. I can't see your screen anymore.
no, I'm. Oh, really? It says it's sharing. I'll reshare. Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. So yeah, we are Venkat. We are just discussing a separate array problem, similar to the one we discussed before, like similar to the array manipulation of URL encoding. So
Okay.
I still can't see
Can
it.
you see my screen?
No, can
Can
you,
anyone else see my screen or nobody
Venkat?
Yeah,
can see?
I see a notepad where it
Oh,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
wait. Then something wrong here, or
application. Is that correct, right?
Yeah, yeah. Notepad. I'm sharing Notepad right now
Yeah,
because
I'm
we were
seeing.
just brainstorming a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe something wrong happened on this. I can't see anymore. Share
Can you, because you are recording, right? So it's important that you should be able to.
sharing this tab to me, or let me stop